ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. The meaning of this prayer is, I offer my obeisances to my spiritual master, by whose grace I was enlightened with the knowledge which I will share with all of you today, and we can have a discussion. So, the meaning of the word gu means darkness. Ru means one who drives away. One who enlightens us and drives away darkness. I can speak without that. Can you hear me well, all of you?
Yes.
Today's topic is a very interesting and very important topic. It's very down to earth, relevant to every one of our lives. Love and trust that never rusts. So there's a trusting love, there's a rusting love. What is the difference between the two? Say, for example, you cut an apple and leave it on a table. After half an hour or 1 hour, you find it oxidized. It becomes little covered by some kind of, Same thing with the knife also. If you leave a knife on a table for a week, again you see it rusted. So the very nature of this world is things don't remain fresh. See, a flower is very fresh in the morning. In the evening you find it dried up. And in the same manner, it is observable phenomenon that in this world, when people come together, there is a lot of expectation, anticipation, lot of charm. For example, if someone is going to get married, just a point before the marriage, what do you think goes on in their minds? They think, the cuckoos will be cooing, and flowers will be falling from heaven, and I will be flying in a chariot in the sky. So many of us have a lot of dreams about how the life is going to be. On the contrary, after marriage, you find probably after a year or two, when people come close to each other, they start seeing each other closely in terms of their qualities, their nature, their behavior. And when their expectations are not met, then cuckoos are not cooing anymore, lions are roaring. Isn't it? Flowers are not falling, tears are falling. Oftentimes, I saw one very famous, one famous actor and actress who married. They separated recently. So when they separate, they become extremely cynical and extremely critical about one another. As much as they loved each other, the enmity becomes far more than that also. How is it that such a high intensity that binds them, with the same intensity they want to be separated? Is it not very surprising? Why love cannot be something that goes on and on perpetually forever in this world? Just as the iron knife rusts or a cut apple rusts, similarly relationship also rusts in this world. And that is why I gave the topic today, love and trust that never rust. So I am sure all of you students assembled here, you would like to live a life where you experience that love which is ever fresh, which never rusts, which will be keeping your mind fresh and your relationships fresh, and you can experience a true inner joy for a long, long time to come. So that is the main theme of the topic today. So do you find it relevant to you? You find it? Yeah. So now, let us go deeper into the topic of love. There are so many love stories, there are so many love novels, there are so many love songs, there are so many songs of broken love also. So many people have sung so many songs, there are pop songs, there are Hollywood songs, and people keep murmuring them. So, you can see that the, is it working? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is it better?
No, it's not working.
Volume can be increased?
It's not working.
It's not working?
No.
Here, we do the sound. This is working. Correct.
So it's going on and off.
Going and coming. Now it's better?
Yeah.
Okay, let us hope it remains. Like the fresh love, our fresh love. It doesn't stop existing. Okay. Yeah, if it is available, it's helpful for me to speak louder. So I was just telling you that the subject matter of love is a very important subject for anybody in this world. Truly speaking, everybody is thirsting for a genuine love in this world. And at the same time, we are all living in a world where people live in great fear that while connecting with somebody, let them not let me down. Let them not do something that will break our trust. So there is also fear, and there is also a longing of the expectation of genuine love. So I heard a story, a real story in one of the cosmopolitan cities in India, Mumbai. Mumbai is actually economic capital of India. There was a very, very big multi-billionaire. One day he was watching a YouTube video and he happened to see a Hollywood actress, a young girl. She was like 22 or something. And immediately, like you say, love at first sight. As soon as he saw that, he became very charmed. And immediately he thought, I should find out who it is. And he, being a billionaire, it wasn't difficult for him to get in touch with her. He just found the connection and then called up and told her that I would like to marry you. I can send my chartered plane to pick you up. So she immediately agreed. Although he was a bit elderly, yeah, I am comfortable. And he was like something like close to 45 or 50. She was just 22. She was almost like a daughter for him. But he wanted her and she was ready, knowing that he is a billionaire. I can go for him, surely. But this fellow was already married. He had a wife also. So he flew her to Mumbai and he had a very big estate, huge house, a lot of gardens and everything, fountains and whatnot. She saw how many estates he has and how great rich fellow he is. She was very happy. But his wife started weeping. He told his wife, you see, you can live in the same house if you want, or if you are not happy with me because I am marrying this Hollywood actress, you can go to your parents' home. The choice is yours. So his wife thought for a while and she didn't like to live in the same place. She left for her parents' home. And this fellow thought, now I am free bird now, to enjoy the life the way I want. But within a week, this billionaire found that this actress, Hollywood actress, is hardly staying at home. She is roaming a lot. And she is roaming with different boyfriends in India. She has connections everywhere. And he was shocked. He thought that she will be loyal to me. Although I like her beauty, but she is not a clean in character. She is not a woman clean in character. So very soon he developed some kind of aversion because his earlier partner, the wife, she was a very chaste lady. She was a very faithful lady to him. So he wanted her chastity and the beauty of this woman. He wanted a combination. He wanted his wife to be as beautiful as this Hollywood actress, but he wanted chastity like his wife, which was not happening. So then he was considering a possibility of divorce. He thought, I'll give her some money and divorce her. Horrible. I don't want to keep connection with such a woman like this who has multiple connections. He thought like that. Somehow this news reached her. So she thought that if he divorces me, I will only get some compensation, not much. But if I arrange to finish this fellow, all his wealth will become mine because currently I am a legally wedded wife. So she thought that all his wealth will be mine. I will arrange someone to finish him. And somehow that news entered his ears. Immediately he got 2 bouncers. You all know bouncer?
Security.
Security, huge. They are very huge fellows. So he got 2 bouncers to protect himself. So early morning he would get up and walk with the bouncer always on either side. Even when he is going out of the house and he's coming inside the house, all the time 2 bouncers on either side. Because he thought she may arrange some hoodlums to beat me up or kill me up. He was not sure what she will do. But he heard the news that she is hatching some plot. Now it was only 1 month that passed after their marriage. So he lost all his peace of mind. Now he thought, how long will I live with this bated breath like this? I think it is better that I arrange to finish her. Like that he thought. And that news reached her ears. Now that she is a very rich lady, now she also got 2 bouncers. So she had either side 2 bouncers to protect her, and he also had similar security. And now they both are coming in and going out of the house with 2 bouncers. Can you imagine? What kind of life can you lead? And they don't want to even look at each other. And you want to divorce her, but she's not cooperating for the divorce also. So it's a true story that happened. So what appeared to be like very colorful love that he felt in his mind, because of which he brought her with his chartered plane, that turned out to be such a painful thing for him in his life. He had to live his life every moment in great fear of his own life. You can see that. This is not love. In English we call this as lust. What is the difference between love and lust? A lust means adamant desire for that which is prohibited, which is not good for us. And the lust always is exploitative in nature. Lust always is in a mood of, what is in it for me? What can I get out of this person? That is called lust. And love is just the opposite. Love is always the mood of giving. It's always the mood of sharing. Look at the nature around you. In the morning when you go out of your house and go to the garden, you can see, look at the sky. The sun shines, the cloud showers, the crops grow, the fruits fructify, the flowers blossom, the seasons change. What an amazing phenomenon we see all around us. None of them charge you a single penny for what they are awarding you. Sun gives you not only sunshine, it also gives you heat. The sun also allows you to put solar panels and extract some electricity also, which doesn't charge you a single penny. If there was the electricity board, they supply you electricity, they are definitely going to charge you. Won't they? They will charge you, correct? But we don't pay any charge for the sun. Similarly, if you buy these water bottles, naturally you have to pay some money. Naturally, but on the other hand, you find the salt water of the ocean is converted into potable water, by the sun. And when the cloud showers, you get pure drinking water and you don't have to pay a single penny. Isn't it? Just see how wonderful it is. You get pure waters free of cost. You get light and heat free of cost. You get the fruits from the fruit-bearing trees free of cost. You get the grains. You get flowers, everything free of cost. So this is the nature you find, which is awarding everything to you without any expectation, and that is called love. So when you say nature, the first question is, whose nature? We have to ask the question. For example, we say, his nature is to be angry. Her nature is to be soft. Like that we say. Whenever we talk of nature, we always talk about somebody's nature. Similarly, when you talk about nature, it has to be someone's nature. Look at the world around you. Is there anything that doesn't belong to anybody? Is there a car which is standing out there which doesn't belong to anybody? Is there a house? Somewhere you watch the house, very beautifully built house. It doesn't belong to anybody. Can you say that? Everything belongs to somebody. Every house, every pen, every car, every vehicle, every book, every room also. Like in your college, for example, you want to book a hall. The hall is under the control of somebody, correct, no? You have to give an application in advance that you want this hall for the program. Everything is owned by somebody and controlled by somebody. If that is so, how can the nature not be owned by anybody? Think about it. Now, why I am saying that nature has to be owned by somebody? Because we are not seeing a dead nature. We are seeing a very lively nature. Say, for example, I take a paper and I put some iron filings over it. And below the paper, I put a magnet and I rotate it. All the iron filings are going to move this way, that way. So, anyone who sees the top of the paper may wonder how these iron filings are moving on their own. Is it not? Because the magnet is moving them. Similarly, look at the world around you. Are the things moving or are they stagnant? What do you think?
Moving.
Yeah. Like when Srila Prabhupada, founder of ISKCON, came to London, he told the devotees, look at these 2 houses, he said. Look at that house, look at this house, what differences do you see? So disciples said to Prabhupada, in this house we see that, the glass of the window is broken, the leaves from the tree have fallen on the aisles, and there is no one to sweep it. And the garden is like unkempt, because we find all the Grasses are growing in different sizes. Nobody has trimmed them, isn't it? And the house has no light. It is very sandy. It looks very dirty also, untidy. And then Prabhupada said, what do you see in this house? So when they saw this house, they said, oh, the light is on in the house. The garden is neatly trimmed. The aisles are neatly swept. So we see a clear difference between the two. What more do you infer? He asked. They said, certainly in this house somebody is living. If somebody is living in a house, you can see how the house is kept. Somebody is not living in a house, how the house will be kept. You can see that. In the same manner, when you look at the universe, does it appear very lively for you, or does it appear as totally like Flotsam and Jetsam and totally dead, nothing happening in this universe? What do you think? Yeah? How many of you see this world as a lively world? What do you think? Is it not true? Honestly speaking, it's a lively world, isn't it? So if it is lively, so who makes it lively? Are we making it lively? Think about it loudly. Are you making the sunrise or the sunset? Are we making the seasons change? Are we making the crops grow? Are we designing those millions of varieties of flowers and fruits with specific details? We are not doing it. Somebody is doing it. And that person who is doing it must be a very loving person. Why? He is giving me all these things without expecting anything in return from me. Therefore, there's a saying, God gives and forgives. We get and forget. We only are in the mode of taking. We don't look up at all. We just pick up the things and we use the things. In India, there was one landlord. He had a habit of going to the roof of the house. From there, he would drop many gifts to the people. He would drop t-shirts. He would, drop notebooks. Many things he would be giving people like that from the top. Many clothes and everything. So people would just, when it would fall from the top, they would just pick it up, wear it and go away. Nobody would ever, made an effort to look up. So this man told his friend, see the people, how ungrateful they are. I am actually throwing so many kerchiefs and cloths and everything. People are picking up and going. Nobody even looks at me. So his friend gave him a suggestion. Try to throw some stone from the top. So he took a small stone and started throwing at the people. Immediately people looked at him, hey, who is that? Who is throwing stone at me? That means people generally talk about God only when some trouble comes in their life. Why God has made this world with suffering? People ask, is it not true? As long as good things come, people keep taking. But with little intelligence, we can understand that whoever that person is God, you call him with whatever name you want. There is some supreme intelligence which is creating all these things and putting it in place so that you get sunlight, you are all educated, intelligent students. I will tell you something, you will find it very interesting. See, you will see in water, in the winter season, the water freezes. You have seen that? When the water freezes, the top portion becomes ice. But when it becomes ice, what will happen to aquatics? Because they won't get any oxygen, is it not true? How will they survive? How will they breathe? Therefore, the Almighty has made an arrangement by which when the water freezes into ice, it releases oxygen in the water. Not only that, it also releases heat. So the fishes in the water find it very comfortable. Imagine you are in the water, you find the water also like hot water now, and also you get oxygen also. Oxygen for survival and hot water for comfort, both are provided. What an amazing arrangement, think about it. And we can say many things like that in the nature. For example, when the earth was created, if you see, around the earth there's an ozonosphere. It's like this, covering the earth. So there is a beautiful protective layer around the earth so that ultraviolet radiation from the sun will not affect us. It's only the human being who has caused the ozone layer depletion due to which UV rays are coming in. So originally the Supreme Creator has created it in a way to protect us. We are breaking that protective layer. So problem is not with the Creator, problem is with those who are taking advantage of His creation and misusing the creation. You can see that. So when William Wordsworth, one of the great poets, you might have heard about him, when he went to his garden, he sang a beautiful poem. Millions of daffodils I saw, millions of daffodils, he said. There weren't millions, there were a few. But the daffodils were smiling so beautifully, those flowers. he felt like as if there were millions of them. It was so attractive, so charming. So that Supreme Creator's loving heart becomes evident when you look the nature around you. That personality must have an aesthetic appeal. Otherwise, you want to create such things with. Like when we were small kids, we used to try to run behind the butterflies. How many of you have seen butterflies with multiple colors? You have seen that? For multiple color butterfly, that fellow must have some aesthetic appeal. They make them with different designs. Is it not true? In the same manner, whenever I eat the fruit juices, like some of you may like apple juice, some of you may like pineapple juice, somebody may like a grapes juice, somebody may like mango juice. You all have your preferences, I am sure. But whenever you take these juices, it gives you such a great sense of pleasure. Is it not true? So it is not that in nature you get all bland things, some or other you have to fill up your belly whether you like or not. It's not like that. Such amazing creation. So look at the world around you and see the love that is being sent towards you. You are receiving that. Why am I calling it love? Because there is no expectation of that Supreme Person from us. He's just avoiding it. So here comes the first point I wanted to tell you. The nature of love is it flows outwardly. It flows outwards. Nature of lust is it flows inwards. You want, that is called lust. Love means it flows outwards. For example, an employer and an employee in a company, if you see, employer thinks, I will get maximum work done from the employee. He thinks like that. An employee thinks, if my boss goes out of session for a week, I'll be cool. Now, both of them think like that. So both of them are thinking about whose benefit, tell me. Whose benefit are they thinking?
Themselves.
Their own benefit. So what is it? Is it selflessness or selfishness? Selfishness. So therefore the relationship, is it sweet or bitter? Is it trusting or rusting? Rusting relationship. Becomes clear, correct? On the other hand, let us take an example of, say for example, my mother is cooking at home. She makes some very nice item at home. I know very well that she's actually cooking it out of love for me and she's actually going to feed me and she gets some joy in seeing me happy. We can see that. On the other hand, when we go out to eat, we have to be careful. Where are we eating? What are we eating? Because we don't know, because many people cook for business purposes, correct now? The outside world. But at home, you know very well, your mom will never cook anything that will harm you. She's cooking out of affection for you. So, again, the same point. In case when you grow up, you find out what my mom wants from me. Why is she serving me for so many years, since my childhood? And she doesn't want anything. This is another nature of love. Love means there is a constant service done to you with no expectation of reward in return. On the other hand, you find the person who is loving you is continuously sacrificing for you. There is sacrifice, there is service, there is affection, and there is no expectation in return, and it is a voluntary service. So, when you get such service, then you also think that I also should do some voluntary service. For example, imagine if your mom or your father comes from a faraway place to meet you. Even if they come at midnight, you will go to the airport, you will lift their luggage. And then you will not want to see them lifting a luggage, heavy luggage. You may want to help them. Why do you do that? Because you feel affection. So, generally, ideally speaking, the parents should think about benefits of children. The children should think about benefit of parents. Therefore, love is mutually shown. Love is not shown. Not the parents think about themselves, children think about themselves. When they think about themselves, that is called selfishness. When they think about each other, not caring for oneself, that is called love. Is that clear? So, the love always flows outwards, as I told you. When one does it for oneself, in Sanskrit there is a verse which says, Atmendriya Pritivancha Tare Bali Kam. Kama means it's for one's own selfish purposes. Prema means it is done. The second part of the verse says, that which is coming out of the heart as a love for God, that is actually selfless, it is said. And in a mood of serving the Supreme. I'll tell you a little story which I heard from a millionaire. And it really hit me hard when I heard this. He said, there are two cities. I live in a place called Pune in India. and that place is Mumbai. Mumbai and Pune are like a 4-hour drive, So the millionaire had come to Pune. He was going from Pune to Mumbai in his car one evening time. So on the way, midway between Pune and Mumbai, there is a area where there's a high mountain. You have to go through the ghats. You know what's a ghat? It's a mountainous area. So the roads go like this, zigzag, so many ways. And on either side, there are thick jungles on either side. So he was going like that. It became a little dark, almost 7 o'clock or so. And it was getting darker. But suddenly his car tire got punctured. So the man got out and he saw it was very strange sight, it was very dark. He was a little worried also. It's not safe to be all alone in the jungle. Because animals start coming out inside jungle. Sometimes cheetah and such animals can come out in such thick jungle areas they live. So he was wondering, what am I going to do now? So he looked here and there up and he saw the mountain. There was a hut from where there was smoke coming out. So he thought maybe somebody is living there. It will be nice if someone can help me. I don't know how to even reach there. There's so many trees all around. And there was one farmer coming. He said, "Sir, it seems your car has got punctured. Don't worry. You can come and stay with me in my house," he said. So he escorted him to his house. He went and the man gave him some food to eat and gave him bedding to sleep at night. And the man told him, "Don't worry at all. Just stay with me. You can go tomorrow." Next day morning when the sun rose in the east, the man became happy. The farmer helped him to put back the Stepney tire he had. He changed the tire. Now the car was all right. By 10 o'clock, he was about to leave. So he had his breakfast in the morning. So now while just leaving, the man took out a 1,000 rupee note. He was a millionaire. 1,000 rupees peanuts for him. He just took out and he wanted to give it to the farmer. And the farmer said, "What? Why do you give me this money?" He said, "You did such a great favor to me. You gave me accommodation, you gave me food. I wanted to give something to you." Farmer said, "I just did my duty. You are my guest. We treat guests like God. You come to my house, I just gave you a small treatment. I can't take this money at all," he said. And the man insisted, but the farmer wouldn't touch the money at all. Then the millionaire said, "Okay, now I'll give him a card. When you come to Mumbai, you should definitely visit my house. And I would like to accommodate you and feed you also when you come." So that millionaire met me one time and told me, I would never give my visiting card to anybody below my status. Whereas this farmer was far behind my status. But I gave him my card. Now can any of you tell me what inspired this millionaire to give his card to that farmer who is actually below poverty line? He is not of his equal status and he is giving him his card. Any of you can raise the hand.
Selfless service.
Anybody? Yeah? I want to hear from others. Yeah.
Selflessness.
Yeah, he said it is a selflessness. Okay. Anybody else want to add to that? Anybody? What inspired him? Yeah, one thing is, he did not charge him something for accommodation. He did not charge him something for the food. He did not see it as a business. He was not business-like. He dealt with him like a family member. Correct, no? I think it's going and coming, is it? Okay. So, he felt obliged because the farmer offered service affectionately without expecting anything in return. Even all of you will have an experience. If somebody renders some service to you without any expectation in return, they touch your heart, surely. On the other hand, if somebody is showing fake love, what is fake love? Say, for example, somebody tells you, "Oh, you look very cute in this dress. Oh, your hairstyle is very smart." And then they ask you, "Can you please give me $10,000? I have to pay the college fee or something." So next time they come to flatter you, you're going to ask, "What do you want this time?" Correct, no? So no, none of us would like somebody to pretend to love us and then demand something out of us, isn't it? So therefore, none of us like fake love. We all are looking for genuine love. So now in this world, is there really such love existing? Or is that love simply an imagination in this world? So most part of the world, when you look around, The living beings who are walking, moving, roaming here, they all have their agendas. They all want something from one another. People in this world make friendships with some expectation in return. And that's very painful for us. They will come and connect with you, and if they know that they can't get it from you, they will not even look at you. They will turn away and go away. That's the way the world is. Therefore, all of us are frustrated in this world and not able to experience genuine love. But now I'm going to conclude the last part I'm going to tell you of this talk now. How can you experience genuine love? Actually, all the wisdom literature teaches that the genuine love emanates only from the Supreme Being. And it exists between the individual souls like all of us, called the spirit souls we call. Some places it's called spirit, some places we call soul, or otherwise it's called spirit soul. The spirit soul is the quantum of spirit or consciousness. Just as you have, what is the unit of matter? Atom. Similarly, what is the unit of consciousness? It is called spirit. So every one of us sitting here, we are actually spirit, seated in a material machine, bodily machine. The body is a machine and we are seated inside it. And the amazing thing about the spirit is never destroyed. The spirit cannot be cut with scissor. It cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be moistened by water. It always exists. Just like you talk about energy can neither be created, energy cannot be destroyed, energy disappearing in one form, reappears in another form without any loss again. What do you call this? Law of conservation of energy. That's about matter. In the same manner, the spirit also can neither be created, it cannot be destroyed. Spirit leaving one body enters into another body without any loss. So we are all spirits. And God is Supreme Spirit. We are minute spirit. And the love that exists between the two is actually called love. And it is pure love. If we can awaken that love, then that love can also be expanded to all the living beings in this world. How is it done? How is it done? For example, all of you think for a moment, when you were newly born, the only person you knew first is your mother. Because you drink breast milk from the mother, you know her. And then you see one man is coming, bringing some things, giving it to your mother and going. Then you ask your mother, who is this fellow? Mother says, this is your father. Then you understand, he's a good fellow. He's helping my mother. So you love your father also after that. And then after some time you grow, you understand that you also have a brother, you also have a sister. Then you love them also. And then this way your love gradually expands. Then you may love people in your locality, or your state, or your country. But then when you travel to other countries, you see human beings are all good in all the different places. So in this way, your love expands more and more. Still it is considered incomplete. Why? Because even though you love all humans and you have humanitarian consideration, at the same time you still kill creatures like a goat or a chicken or a cow or things like that. They are also innocent creatures. We should love all the living beings. How is that possible? There is only one person connected to all creatures, which is the Supreme. So when you start thinking about the nature that is around you, who created the nature? Why did he put us here? What is the goal of life? The goal of life is called love agape, we call it. Love agape means universal love. So what is that universal love? When that love is awakened for the Supreme, you love every other creature because every other creature is connected to that Supreme. Say for example, I have 3 sisters in India, back in India. When these 3 sisters got married to a man, they got their husband. Suddenly I found that my affection for their husband also naturally got awakened. Although I never knew who they are before. Why? Because I love my sister, and when she got married to him, because of his connection to her, I loved him also, naturally. Now my sister's got 1 son and 1 daughter. I love those children also. Why? Because they are connected to my sister. Anyone who is connected to my sister will be object of my love. Do you agree? In the same manner, if you love God, then all creatures are connected to God. God is like infinitely powerful. We are minute. Everyone is connected. So if I love Him, I will love all. Therefore, we say a very simple formula. Love God, love all. God is like one master switch. Outside you put on the master switch, all lights, fans, everything is on. Outside you switch off, everything is off. God is like that. If you love Him, you can love everybody. Then we can really come to understand what love is. And why we love God. There's a reason, because there are many qualities of God which I have not told you. One of which is He respects our free will. He gives us the freedom. You want to be independent of me? You go to this world. What do you want to enjoy? He provides all the facilities for us. You be what you are. He gives that freedom as a loving father. You can see that. So, and also, respect also means you value every individual. So, I have just given you a spark of that knowledge. But if you study more deeply, you can come to understand what is this genuine love, what is pure love, what is a fake love, and what is pure love. This pure love involves, as I told you, it involves service, it involves sacrifice, it is voluntary, it is completely selfless, it is outward flowing, it has no expectation in return, it is fully trustworthy, and it is a heart-to-heart relationship. It is not superficial, and it never rusts, ever. It is always ever fresh. Thank you very much. I can take some discussions. I can take.
Yeah.
If anybody wants the mic, I can.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions that they'd like to ask?
They can speak a question or a reflection or a recollection. Anything they can. Each of them can say a few words.
If anyone, yeah, we'll just pass it on. You can just say like.
I think they're deeply thinking about it now.
We'll start with you. Someone has to go first.
I first of all want to ask, when I spoke to you, could you catch my accent? How many of you could catch my accent and understand what I was saying? Really? Amazing. Good. I am making some improvement, I believe. Because when I first came to America, one madam told me, please speak slowly, loudly and clearly, she told me. But it's still ringing in my ears. So I try to keep myself slow, but I tend to be too fast always. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about love in the sense of outward flowing and not expecting anything in return, and having that relationship with God helps you realize that you can love everyone and everything.
Correct.
And then you start to see God in everyone and everything. I think that's powerful. Yeah.
Thank you.
I can pass it.
Yeah, I really like the point like where we mentioned like God gives and forgives, and we take and forget. Like we take so many things granted.
For granted, yeah.
Yeah, and we don't realize the importance like around us.
Like, you ask a child, hey, why is the airport door opening? Child says, because you have to go inside, the airport door is opening. Child is saying, is it opening automatically? There's a pre-arrangement of the sensor path getting blocked. That's where it opens, isn't it? When you put your hand in a wash basin, water comes. It's not automatic. Somebody has made some pre-arrangement. Is it not true? Similarly, if a little girl comes home, she finds a sandwich and tomato ketchup. She just eats and drinks. You ask, hey, how did the sandwich come? She said, because I'm hungry, it has come. How ridiculous it is. Similarly, you go out in the garden, you get so many nice eatables. And even though man is very educated, he tends to imagine that everything is just coming by chance. Nothing comes by chance in this world. One Reynolds pen cannot come by chance. You cannot see anything. Everything, behind everything, there is something. There is always a cause for everything in this world. So we get and forget. God gives and forgives. Thank you. Anybody else? Yeah.
I did have a question. So you said you talked about selflessly loving. My question is, what happens when the entity or the person, and I say entity because this sits very well with the example of nature as well. So what happens with when the receiving side starts exploiting you, and what should be your course of action when this happens?
I was once given a topic, nature, should you love or fear? There was one topic. Because the nature is like a mother. She gives us food to eat, water to drink, air to breathe and everything. So we are naturally grateful. But the very same nature, sometimes you see the earth opening and people have to go inside. That is earthquake, we call it. Or there are like New Orleans, we had tornadoes in New Orleans. Similarly, tsunamis, volcanoes. So the very same Mother Nature who delights you with so many gifts and offerings. It appears that sometimes she is very ruthless and merciless, it appears. So why is that? So some people ask a question. Actually, in this world, whatever sufferings we feel in this world are actually a response to our own wrong actions only. For example, if I throw a ball on the wall, it comes back to me. Similarly, there is no history of any ocean swelling ever in the past until the recent tsunami that happened in Chennai in India. After that, once in where is it, China, Japan? Japan it happened. And scientists admitted, they said this tsunami is not caused by nature. It is caused by our misuse of nature or mishandling of the environment. They agreed with that. They have proven it now. They have proven it that we have meddled, tampered with the nature's ecological arrangement. When we tampered with it, it has come in the form of tsunami. They said that. Like I told you the example of the ozonosphere put around the earth. God is so kind, He wants to protect me like a mother wants to protect a child with a napkin. But we are making a hole in it and inviting trouble. So, in this way, the trouble is coming from nature towards us because of our misuse of nature. Like for example, today, in one moment, millions of children are being aborted across the globe. Because man, woman, for the sake of pleasure, they come together. And when the child comes, they don't want to take responsibility for raising the child. They just abort the child. Similarly, millions of cows are being slaughtered in guillotine machines. So when human beings become extremely ruthless in killing millions of such innocent creatures, either the babies or the cows and everything, then the response to that comes in the form of wars, pestilence, famines, volcanoes, and all these things. It's a response to our abuse. So this is with respect to nature, I am saying. Is that clear, that point? Okay, now I believe your question was, when you show selfless love to somebody, the other person exploits you, correct? No? Then what should we do? Correct? Yeah. Hope I understood the question correctly. Yeah. So while dealing with your friend circle, or your colleagues in the office, or your family members, so what should you do? Say, for example, a boy has his elder brother with whom he deals with him in a selfless mode. But while dividing the property, the elder brother is taking undue advantage of the younger brother's soft nature. And he wants to usurp majority of the property for himself and wants to cheat the younger brother. Then what should the younger brother do, for example? So therefore, there are three types of responses you can give. Passive, assertive, and aggressive, we call it. Passive means you tell everybody, all of you walk over my head, I am good for nothing. You just smash me, all right. That is passive. And aggressive means you exploit others. You abuse others around you because you are greedy. But the middle way is assertive. So one should take an assertive approach. So aggressive means I break your tooth. Passive means I allow everyone to break my tooth. Assertive means I preserve my tooth, I allow your tooth to be preserved. Both. It's a good one, isn't it? So this is called as live and let live. Live and let live is a very good principle where I give you your rights and I take my rights and we both are allowed to live with our own rights. That's the most ideal thing. So you should not allow others to cheat you or others to exploit you. You have the right to defend yourself. Is it all right? Like I'll tell you one little story in this connection. There was one snake who became a disciple of a saint. So the snake went to the saint and said, ever since I met you, my dear saint, you told me to be very humble and tolerant and well behaved. So when I went to the village, the boys who were playing, they pelted stones on me. And now my whole body is full of bruises and it's bleeding now. See, what you taught me, the lesson didn't help me, he said. So then the saint told him, my dear snake, next time you go to village, don't bite anybody, but I never told you should not hiss. So the snake went back. Again, when the boys picked up the stone, like that he did. All of you got frightened, I think. So when he did his like this, all the boys ran away. They threw that stone down and went away. That is called assertive behavior. Assertive means the snake didn't harm the boys, nor did the snake allow them to pelt stones. He took a midway approach. Is that clear? Yeah. Anybody else want to say any other realizations? Any of you? Yes. Thank you.
So my question, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and they had a little bit of they were a little bit depressed because they had like a lack of self-worth. So my question is, how do we bring love into the lives of people who feel like they may not feel worthy of that love?
Actually, when we observe those people who feel such a lack of worth and they have not received love in their life from anybody, and they feel themselves useless, good for nothing. So the first thing I would do with such a person is I would tell him some little stories by which I will boost up his confidence, which is called self-esteem. Self-esteem is not pride. Self-esteem is self-worth. For example, once Guru told his 3 disciples that go out in the morning and then get me some leaves of jackfruit tree, he told them. Dry leaves, he told them. So they all went in 3 directions and they came in the evening and came with empty hands. Guru asked, what happened to you? So the first fellow said, I was picking up dry leaves. One old lady came and said, you can't pick these leaves because I use them as fuel in my furnace. So if you want, you can take a kilo, but you'll have to pay money for that. So that fellow didn't have any money, he came with empty hands. The other fellow went, he was also picking up. One man told him that I combine these leaves and make a leaf plate, which I use in the market. Daily I make some money. So if you want some plates, you can pick up, but you'll have to pay me money. He also couldn't bring it. And the third disciple came and said, when he was picking up those dry leaves, there was one Ayurvedic doctor who was powdering those leaves, making some medicine out of it. So he also said, you'll have to pay money for this. So then the Guru told them, even a dry leaf is not useless. How can you be useless? Think about it. You are much more worthier than dry leaf. Is it not true? So this is the first thing we should tell people. Never think you are useless. You can do something. Look at these 5 fingers. This finger is used for challenging. This finger is for indicating. This is the tallest finger. And this finger is often used for putting a ring. But this is the only finger which may think I am the smallest finger and nobody puts ring on me and nobody values me because everybody else is bigger than me. So he thinks he's useless, but he's not useless. Why? Because sometimes you do like this. Even this is useful, which none of the other fingers can do. Correct, no? Even a small creature can do something. I heard a little story in Panchatantra where once a lion was sleeping and a small rat was making noise. They were making noise. Lion got up and he caught the rat and he was roaring at the rat, and rat thought he's going to eat me up. Sir, please leave me, don't eat me up. He told the rat, you foolish rat, even if I eat you, you are not enough for my breakfast also. You're so small. Get lost, don't make noise. He threw away. And the rat said, sir, I will be of some help to you in future. And the lion laughed at him. Ridiculous, you will help me. I am the king of the jungle, he said. But 6 months later, the lion got caught in a net. And the lion was trying to escape, he couldn't escape. Whom do you think helped him? The small rat. He has got a teeth gifted by God with which he can cut those net wires. And the lion understood, although this fellow creature is very small, he has some power which I don't have. In this way, every one of us, you will see, there are 8 types of intelligences. I'll conclude with this point. It's getting a bit late, I think, right?
We can go 5
minutes. 5 minutes you can go? Okay. See, all of you, when I am telling you, you note in your own mind which one of these talents you feel it's close to you. It's called as SLIMBIL. Slim Bill, we call it. S stands for spatial visual, which means you are an artist. You are a photographer. You like freehand sketching and things like that. You can draw isometrics. There are some engineers who can draw isometrics with a very free hand without much difficulty. Spatial, visual. Then L stands for linguistic. Some people know. How many of you here know more than 3 languages? You know? Anybody? There are 3 hands up. So you are fond of learning languages. And then we have I stands for intrapersonal. Intrapersonal means you are philosophical. Somebody can put you in a room and give you 100 books. You will lock the door and you can stay for 1 year also. You don't need to talk to anybody. You are a lover of books. Of course, they have to give you your meals from the window regularly, and you can remain there forever. So that is intrapersonal. These intrapersonal people are the ones who can become motivational talkers. They can become writers, thinkers, and all. And M stands for musical. You can play guitar, you can play violin, you can play piano. Many instruments you can play. You can sing also very well. Musical. And B stands for bodily kinesthetic. They become good in sports. They have to always active the body. They go for swimming or they go for playing baseball. They always keep running with the body. They never keep idle at all. B. And I stands for interpersonal. Interpersonal means they are people. They like to be surrounded by people always. They are gregarious by nature. Interpersonal. These people can go for HR or they can go for sales, marketing and things like that. They can deal with people very well. And L stands for logical mathematical. They look at the whole world with equations. Everything. They are very good at mathematics, computing and everything. And there is one more added nowadays I saw. It's called naturalistic. Naturalistic means they like protecting the environment, eco-friendliness. They want to go green everywhere. They are very much concerned about not spoiling the nature. So how many of you could relate with at least one of this very strongly? You can raise your hand. Almost all of you, is it? So that is your unique potential. So you can tell your friend, find out which one matches with you, and then you try to nourish that particular talent, because that talent will come for him very easily, very naturally, without much effort. Others also will notice that he is outstanding in that talent, and then he can grow very nicely in that, and then he can come out of this gloom, of thinking that I am inferior, I am good for nothing. Correct, no? So therefore, we all in our life. Actually, God is such a personality. The more you access Him, you can easily understand that He values you. That experience you will get. Because He values every small creature. There is an episode in a scripture called Ramayana. In the Ramayana, some of the monkeys are making a, bridge. Big bridge. While making that bridge, one small squirrel, he also wanted to assist. So he went and picked up small stones and he was putting. So one of the great monkey leaders, his name is Hanuman. So he picked up the squirrel and said, "Why are you disturbing us? You are a tiny creature, you can't do much work. Get out of this place," he said. So Lord Rama came and said, "Hanuman, you are very big, you are putting big boulders. And the squirrel is small, he is putting a small stone. He is giving his full capacity. You are giving your full capacity. And I am pleased with both of you equally," he said. So in this way, God is happy with anyone who is putting his full capacity. After you, like if all of us were to jump in this hall, everyone can jump to different heights, correct, no? But you have to jump to our full capacity, correct, no? So that's all we have to do. If we have done our part, so we say, do your best and let God do the rest. Like I sow the seed, God gives the rains. I give the interview, the panel will choose me. I give the examination, the invigilators will give me marks. So both are not in my hands, only the first part is in my hands. Alright? Is it clear now? So you can share with your friend. Actually, I have is there a board? I can write something now. Actually, in my website, the first one, newcomers, there is if you go to Radheshyamdasdevotionalvideos.com, if you put this website, as soon as you go inside, you will find newcomers. In there, if you click, there is a course called a self-development course. So in that self-development course, there is one full topic on what I spoke now. It's called the Overcoming Inferiority Complex. It's available. So if you tell your friend to go through that, there are many more little stories like this, which will actually boost him and give him more confidence. That whole 10-session course is all about self only. Self-awareness, self-management, self-esteem, self-respect, it's called as self-reliance. Like that, there are 10 self-related items. So of course I will tell our friend he will share it with others if they want to go through the 10 session thing. It's a free videos are available for you. You can go through them. And this is one biggest problem because friends compare themselves with other friends. That's where they get hurt. They hurt themselves more. Thank you for the question. It's a very good question.
Let's have a round of applause for a wonderful.